Third POV. Once the cheers of agreement silence down, may press the play button on the next video. The rocking music of death battle playing as the images of the combatants were shown. Anti-heroes. Wiz began, walking the mysterious gray line between good and evil. They do what they want, however they want, when they want, Boomstick said. The students were intrigued with learning more about the concepts of anti-heroes and vigilantes, while the heroes frowned slightly at the notion of their more unlawful counterparts. Izawa mentally recalled his own encounters with a certain pair of vigilantes. Vegeta, prince of the Science and rival to Goku. Wiz introduced the first fighter. And Shadow, the ultimate life form and rival to Sonic. Boomstick announced the second one. So both of these two are rivals to another character from their own universes and can be classified as anti-heroes. Ida deduced. Don't forget about when they were shown with golden forms. Izuku reminded Ida. Nizu, do you really think it's wise to show the kids anti-heroes? Snipe said. They aren't exactly a gold standard for the next generation of heroes to follow or take inspiration from. I believe that it is a perfect time to showcase an example of an anti-hero, Nizu said. While the government and some of the public frown at them, even we heroes have to admit that some vigilantes are more benefit than criminal. Plus this could also benefit the students in showcasing what vigilantes should be pursued as threats to civilians and which we can overlook. Izawa added, I'm Wizard and he's Boomstick, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Wiz finished the intro. The video began with the first fighter who appeared as a man with spiky black hair, thick black eyebrows over sharp eyes, and a confident smirk on his face. He wore what appeared to be a mix of a jumpsuit mixed with body armor, with the suit being a tight blue suit, and also wearing forearm-length white gloves and white boots. His armor, white and gold in color, covered his upper torso. Other images shown him with the same armor but with long white shoulder pads, and with a bushy brown tail circled around his waist. He looks rather cocky and proud-looking, Zero said. I wonder where I've seen that before. Zero silently peered to his right towards a certain explosive blonde, Vegeta, born a prince to a warrior-like race of human-looking aliens known as the Science, Wiz began. So he's an alien, Mina said. I guess that explains the monkey tail around his waist. And his species are also warriors, Kirishima pointed. I bet they are so manly. Vegeta's people were slaughtered by an evil alien tyrant known as Frisia, Wiz explained, showing an image of Frisia destroying the planet with a ball of energy from his fingertips. Who brought the young scion into his forces and molded Vegeta into a deadly, ruthless killer. I guess not, Kirishima muttered dumbfound. Because they are dead. Jaws dropped left and right at the sight of the planet being destroyed by one alien, who only lifted a single finger. What kind of monster is that? Mineta yelled in fear. He just blew up a planet, with just his finger. And he wiped out his people and made Vegeta into a soldier for him. Uraraka added. That's horrible. The heroes were practically sweating bullets at the sight at the alien tyrant. All Might was practically praying to whatever multiversal god was watching them that such a threat would never find his way to Earth, from somewhere in their universe or from another world, and that they would never make friends with All for One. Background. Height 5 feet 3 inches. Weight 123 pounds. Scion Prince. Elite warrior class. Bakugu and Endeavor smirked at this. Trained in martial arts. Ojiro and Tiger liked this too. Current leader of the Z Fighters. Over time, however, Frisia's iron grip over him led to Vegeta to rebel, ushering Frisia's final defeat by the hand and help of fellow Saiyan, Son Goku. Was revealed, showing an image of Goku. Izuku felt a mild headache ring through his head before shaking it off. Not again, Izuku thought. I thought that shielding was supposed to keep those away. After struggling with adapting to life on Earth, Vegeta eventually became one of the planet's strongest defenders, was said. At least he managed to break free from that tyrant and found a purpose in life, Todoroki stated. Are we not just going to mention that this Goku dude somehow defeated this Frieza? Hyuka pointed out. And that if by the introduction to this guy, Vegeta is supposed to rival Goku? That raised some eyebrows in shock, already feeling that this Vegeta guy is going to be powerful. He even got hitched to the hot, rich, tech chick, Bulma, breaking poor Master Roshi's heart. Oh, and Yamcha too, Boomstick added. They even had a kid named Trunks. The video showed a familiar-looking woman with turquoise-colored hair holding a purple-haired baby, a short bald man with a large stick and sunglasses, and a tall man with an X-shaped scar over his cheek and long, wild black hair. The girls awed at how this gruff and constantly angry dude found love and had an adorable kid, though they also had a shiver run through their spines for some reason when seeing the image of Rashi. Why I am getting the creeps when I look at that guy, Hyuka said. Why am I feeling like I like this guy? Mineta mentally pondered. Vegeta can move and fly at hypersonic speeds. He can survive underwater and in the vacuum of space for a long yet definite period of time. Boomstick continued. He even has the endurance to survive a freaking nuclear blast. Jaws once again dropped in unison at mention of surviving a nuke. That's fucking awesome. Bakugo yelled excitingly. Vegeta can use a natural inner energy called Ki for devastating attacks. Wiz explained. Ki? Ojiro questioned. Do they mean Chi? What's Chi? Hananuki asked. Chi is a fundamental belief in Taoism and other Chinese culture, Rin said. It is believed to be the vital life force inside all living things and is run by the positive and negative energies in your body. Although I guess in this universe it's some kind of energy source that can be taped into for power. Ki attacks. Gallic Gun, Bakugo approves of name and mentally writes it down. Bang Beam, Mineta snickers perversely. Big Bang Attack. Bakugo approves again and smacks Mineta upside the head. Final Shine. Energy Bullet Barrage. Final Flash. Bakugo is practically grinning ear to ear at the names in excitement. His trademark attack is a destructive purple laser by the name of Gallic Gun. Boomstick revealed. His Big Bang attack unleashes a hug explosion of energy covering a vast distance and can be narrowed to a beam for concentrated accuracy. Wiz jumped in. Bakugo smirked at the explosive power of Vegeta and compared the Big Bang attack to be similar to both his regular explosions and his AP shot. He can launch a volley of energy bullets, pounding his foe with dozens of deadly blasts. Boomstick said. Hey Baku bro, isn't that similar to your explosions and that AP shot, minigun mode that you use? Kirishima asked. Yeah, don't know why but I like this guy, Bakugo stated, choosing to ignore the deadpanned looks of his classmates around him. But his most devastating move is his final flash attack, a huge beam of golden energy that can destroy entire planets. Boomstick yelled in excitement. Q dropped jaws and widened eyes of disbelief as they saw Vegeta unleash a massive golden blast of energy that shot out from Earth. Oh, God, Melissa said in amazement. Yeah, wow, Hyuka agreed. Good thing that this guy is at least an anti-hero and not full-blown villain. Dave said, eyes widened at the astonishing attack. Yeah, I don't think even I in my prime could handle him. All Might agreed. Vegeta's Ki is quite versatile and not limited to these 4 attacks. Wiz explained. He is never without a weapon. Versatility can be a powerful weapon in of itself. Ectoplasm said. It can evolve the most basic of quirks and powers to become incredibly powerful and effective. But wait, there's more. Boomstick said excitingly. What? Satsuna said. What can be more than having the power to blow up planets? Super Saiyan. Can reach levels 1 and 2. 500% increase perform. Can be activated at any time. Sustain through own energy. Nearly indestructible. Level 2 drains even more energy than level 1. The video showed Vegeta yelling out, glowing in power, before transforming into Super Saiyan. Vegeta's spiky black hair was now standing more upwards and turned golden. His eyebrows too turning golden, and his entire body was sheened in golden energy. Setsuna was silent, alongside the rest of the group at the powerful and imposing form of this new form of Vegeta. That's right, Boomstick. Whiz jumped in. Vegeta can reach to the legendary status of Super Saiyan, a near indestructible form which increases his power output by 500%. Whiz explained. And he can take this form to the next level for yet another 500% increase. Boomstick revealed. That's a lot of power in math. Wait. Does that mean that at his most powerful Vegeta's Super Saiyan mode increases his power by over 1000%? Izuku yelled in awe and astonishment. Setsuna said. I guess that is something more. The Super Saiyan form is sustained through Vegeta's remaining energy in a fight. Whiz explained. Also, despite reaching the levels of Super Saiyan 4, which dwarfs level 2, he was only able to do so with Bulma's Blutz wave machine, and cannot do so naturally. The video showed Vegeta getting blasted by a weird machine by Bulma and transformed into a new form. This one had Vegeta have a long mane of spiky black hair that reached behind his waist, red bags below his eyes, and bushy red fur all over his arms, legs, and the sides of his exposed muscled chest. His tail was also red in color. He can go even stronger, Mineta yelled out. Although it's quite a shame that he can't achieve this level of power by his own, Oyama said. That means that he can't use that power in this fight. Although, I for one am relieved that we don't have to see more of that horribly hairy figure. Shut the fuck up, Twinkle Turd. Bakuga yelled in anger. That's total bullshit. And in death battle, we don't allow help from spouses. Boomstick noted. They drew some chuckles from the students. Vegeta is cocky, arrogant and proud. Whiz listed. He seeks to be the best and is willing to fight the best to do so, even allowing his opponents to reach power levels much greater than his own. Often much to his detriment. All of class 1A slowly turned to their explosive blonde, them all pretty much figuring out where they heard that similar trait before. Unfortunately, Bakugo noticed and didn't choose to ignore it this time. What the hell are you all looking at, you fucking extras? While this had led to him dying twice so far, he's still around somehow, kicking ass and being a dick. Boomstick added. Wait, what? Itsuka yelled in confusion. How is he still alive if he died twice? The device decided to answer her question, as the video paused and spoke in its robotic voice saying, "Cause of Vegeta's 2 resurrections were done by the power of the Dragon Balls." The video showed an image of 7 orange balls that size of tennis balls, each with a number of red stars on them, ranging from 1 to 7. The Dragon Balls belong to Vegeta's universe and are mystical orbs of power that when combined together summon the near all-powerful dragon Shenron. The image gained life and played, showing the Dragon Balls glowing before shooting a bright light that subsided to reveal a ginormous green dragon, bathed in a golden glow. With the power of the Dragon Balls, the individual that gathers the Dragon Balls together may ask 1 or 3 wishes to which Shenron will grant if it is within his power. Such successful wishes include the power to bring back an individual from the dead. At this point, the whole group were considering going to a doctor after this with how much their jaws practically dropped to the floor. The power to grant any wish. Bakugo muttered, imagining himself becoming the #1 hero that you desire. A certain pair of girls, including a blonde genius, mumbled while their noses bled from their thought over wishes, some of which ventured into M-rated territory. Amazing! Deku muttered, imagining himself a full-fledged hero, powerful enough to protect all those who he held dear, and all might there to see it all with pride. Anything! Mineta and Kaminari muttered creepily, imagining themselves with the girls of their class, 1B, and female pros all beneath their feet, sucking their ****. The perverted duo ended up with their heads back in the ground by the combined effort of a certain pissed-off green bean, annoyed explosive blonde, and a fuming purple-haired girl. I am a Super Saiyan! Vegeta shouted out, releasing a massive blast of white light that blanketed the screen. And you can burn in hell. The group was still reeling from the revelation about the Dragon Balls and their power to grant any wish they can imagine. After they snapped out of it, they thought about Vegeta, about how he was certainly powerful, perhaps stronger than any fighter they have seen yet, including Kratos and Spawn. Bakugo especially liked the Scion Prince for his power and confidence, and could definitely say that he would love to be this guy's counterpart. The video continued showing the next fighter, which was a hedgehog. The hedgehog stood on his legs and appeared anthropomorphic in nature. Its fur was jet black with streaks of red lining his quills that curved upwards at their ends, pale khaki chest region, and a puff of white fur on his upper chest. He wore white gloves with golden rings on his wrists and white, red, and black shoes with holes on the heel. He had piercing, ruby-red eyes in a permanent glare and an intimidating scowl. They also saw images of him walking through smoke with an automatic rifle in hand. Shadow, created by Professor Gerald Robotnik using alien DNA acquired from an interdimensional Dark Lord, Shadow the Hedgehog was created to be the ultimate life form. Wiz revealed. Why and how he ever thought that the ultimate life form was supposed to be an anthropomorphic hedgehog, I will never know. Boomstick said. Yeah, that kind of seems silly. Horror said. Wizard did say that it was alien DNA, so the results could be anything. Shui pointed out. Despite being a powerful living weapon, Shadow's initial purpose was to provide genes capable of curing the deathly ill, specifically, Gerald's granddaughter Maria. Wiz continued. The video showed Shadow interacting with a young girl with golden blonde hair that looked suspiciously similar to Melissa. Miss Melissa, Aerie said, drawing the young inventor's attention. That girl looks like you. Aerie pointed to the young blonde on screen. Is she your sister? Oh no, Aerie, she isn't, Melissa said. Although I agree that we look alike. Huh, so Shadow was originally created to cure illnesses, Jiro said. Wonder how he went from that to going around with a gun. But before Shadow could be shared with the world, tragedy struck. Wiz revealed. The group watched in horror at the sight of Maria being shot by a bullet in the back, dying. All the while Shadow looked on helpless in his pod, unable to help. Gasps of shock and horror rang at the sight of the young girl's death. I'm sorry I asked. Ojiro muttered apologizingly. Melissa froze, mouth ajar at the sight of what she admitted was possible her counterpart shot dead. David and All Might looked horrified and tried to look away from the painful scene. Even though Gerald's efforts were in the betterment of mankind, as well as his granddaughter's life, the military did not agree with his methods, more specifically his drastic ones, such as making a blood pact with an evil alien warlord and generally not having a permit for having a secret laboratory in space for dangerous weapons. Boomstick revealed. As soon as he was captured, he was taken into custody, and to ensure the mission was successful, shut it all down, secure all of his creations into confidential hiding, including Shadow himself, and silence anyone who knew about it. Permanently, Wiz explained. Oh my god, that's horrible, Mina said. How can they be so cruel? Soldiers are trained to follow the strictest and harshest of orders to the letter for the sake of their objectives. Nizu explained. Sometimes those orders are cruel and horrible, but many are tasked to completing them and to put aside their own feelings for their mission, very much often to the mental torment of the soldiers. It was the same for Spawn, if you recall. Gran Torino turned to Toshinori and David, one who was almost having a panic attack at seeing a look-alike of his daughter killed in front of him, and the other almost about to crack his armrest into pieces. I'm sorry that you have to see this, both of you. However, remember that this isn't the Melissa that you know and love. She's down there. And while I am too enraged at this act of murder, remember that this is events that have already occurred and from another world. That doesn't mean I have to like seeing this occur. All Might mutteringly grumbled. And so you shouldn't have to. Gran Torino agreed. However, we must come to accept this and move on. That's what we heroes and people must do to live on. Izuku was frozen. He could barely comprehend the world around him as the sight of Maria's death occurred in front of him. His mind easily placing Melissa in her counterpart's place, and repeating it in a horrible loop. He felt physically ill, the pain in his heart staggering and his vision blurry formed the tears welling up. He felt a hand on his own and whirled to see Melissa, her hand on his, with a sad smile of acceptance and reassurance. Izuku sniffled and calmed down. A look of apology sent to the blonde inventor, said Blonde, nodding and smiling gratefully. This didn't fly unnoticed from the girls, but let it slide after what was shown. The other guys weren't much better. Bakugo was snarling in anger at the girl's death by the soldiers. Fire started sparking out of Todoroki's arm, and Dark Shadow had to be physically restrained and soothed by a still furious Tokoyami. Jesus, Zero said. That definitely must suck for Shadow, watching his friend die in front of him. Then Shadow broke out, went crazy and tried to destroy the earth for revenge, but he ended up saving the day instead. Boomstick said. Yep, that will do it, Zero said. It's great that he ended up saving the day instead of destroying it, Oto said. Redemption from the dark, Tokoyami grimly said. Though people are still getting sick on Earth, so I guess he kinda forgot about that whole living cure thing. Boomstick added. Well, Boomstick, Shadow does suffer from amnesia, only remembering certain bits of memory, the most clearest of which were the ones most dear to him. His identity and his friendship with Maria. Wiz revealed. The girls cooed in delight and sadness at Shadow's friendship with Maria being one of the hedgehog's closest memories. Ibarra even prayed short string of prayers to Maria and Shadow. The teachers and heroes smiled, glad that the now revealed former villain repented his actions and held on to Maria's memory. David smiled, glad knowing that his little girl was a treasured memory to someone. All Might smiled fondly, remembering how he too holds onto the memory of Nana. Background. Height, 3 feet 3 inches. Weight, 77 pounds. Bioengineered ultimate life form. Nearly indestructible. Hypersonic speed, Ida perked up at that. Martial arts skills. Ojiro also perked up at that. Shadow can move at hypersonic speeds and survive underwater and in space. Wiz explained. His speed is amazing, Ida said, astonished. He's going at speeds that put me and Tensei to shame. He might actually be faster than you at your prime, Toshinori. Gran Torino said, eyes wide. Agreed. Toshinori agreed, eyes wide in amazement. He's even tough enough to survive a fall to the earth from the moon. And that's one long-ass fall, Boomstick added. And he's shorter than me, Mineta pointed out. No offense, dude, but I think that's the least important fact about this dude, Kaminari said. Especially about being able to survive a fall from the moon. Well, it wasn't exactly the moon, but Shadow survived a fall of about 200,000 miles, Wiz explained. By the time he hit the ground, he was falling at a rate of over 6 million feet per second. That's over 4 million miles per hour. That's amazing, Uraraka said. To be able to survive at those speeds is truly a miracle. He was created to be the ultimate life form, so he probably should have some impressive durability, UQ said. I feel sorry for whatever dude was around when he landed, Boomstick said. Some guy just walking along and oh my god. That drew chuckles from the group. Chaos Force, Chaos Control, Chaos Spear, Chaos Blast. Other energy-based attacks can be used to defend, heal, fly and warp. Shadow possesses a natural link to the Chaos Force, a never-ending pool of unbelievable energy of cosmic, reality-bending proportions. Wiz revealed. Chaos Force. Izuku muttered, confused and intrigued, bringing out a notebook from out of nowhere. He can fire several different energy-based projectiles like Chaos Spear and beams, Boomstick added in. But his most powerful attack is Chaos Blast, a huge explosion which annihilates everything around him in seconds. Bakugo perked up in interest at the sight of the powerful explosion and smiled in delight. He can also manipulate time and space with Chaos Control, Wiz added. Though, depending on the situation, using this technique to its fullest takes time and is impractical in combat. That power is so versatile and amazing, Deku mumbled as he started writing in his notebook. With those Chaos Spears and beams, he can have impressive long-range capabilities. Can he manipulate them when fired? And that huge explosion can be useful when surrounded by dangerous foes around, but dangerous if there are civilians nearby or if he is in a city. That super speed also is clearly faster than any hero, even All Might. And with manipulating time and space, it would be nearly impossible to evade him. Event teleporter swill bahar to escape ** mumble 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 **. The group all had comical sweat drops at seeing Dekka's mumbling and analysis at work again. Coulda had to spray him with water to knock him out his mumbling. Inhibitor rings. Restrict chaos power. Maintain precision control. When removed, his powers increase exponentially. When removed, his stamina quickly drops. Also, Shadow wears 2 inhibitor rings, which restrict his access to the Chaos Force to maintain control. Wiz explained. Should he remove them, his power increases immensely, but is somewhat uncontrollable and quickly tires him out. Interesting, David said. Those inhibitor rings are clearly like support items to contain this Chaos Force power and keep him from harming others and himself. They could also work well as a final gambit to use against a powerful foe to go all out, as long as there are no civilians present. Endeavor added. His chaos power also increases depending on the number of chaos emeralds he has, and when he gets all 7 of them, he goes super himself. The video shows Shadow and a blue anthropomorphic hedgehog, like himself, obtaining several glowing emerald gems of color. The colors varying from green, cyan, blue, red, purple, yellow, and grayish-white. When all the 7 emerald came into contact with them, the 2 hedgehog creatures glowed in golden light and popped out with their fur glowing golden, with Shadow's glowing grayish gold with his streaks of red glowing ruby red. The group looked in awe of the golden form of Shadow and the other hedgehog creature, feeling the same imposing and powerful presence. It's just like Vegeta's Super Saiyan form. Kirishima yelled out excited. It looks so manly. Can you even classify a hedgehog-looking creature as manly? Zero questioned. I wonder who that blue hedgehog was. Nijire asked. He looked the same as Shadow but more blue and plain. Super form. 1000% increase. Automatic flight. Unlimited endurance. Invincible. Duration based on a time limit. Super Shadow is the pinnacle of his powers, receiving a 1000% increase. Wiz explained. That's just as powerful as Vegeta's Super Saiyan form at its level 2 state. Momo deduced. And since Vegeta can't use level 4 without that machine, then Vegeta and Shadow could be evenly tied in power. He can fly, move near the motherifying speed of light, and is totally invincible. Boomstick exclaimed. Jaws dropped to the floor again at the mention of the speed of light feet. Holy shit, Tsuna swore. Kirishima and Tetsu passed out from too much manliness. Ida was practically still, apart from his robot-like waving arm that also looked to be achieving light speed. Izuku had to be splashed out of another mumbling writing state, this time from a flick to the head by Todoroki. Despite this, Shadow's super form can only last a few minutes, Wiz revealed. But considering his super speed, a short time to him is a long time to his opponents. Boomstick added. That's not all. Shadow claimed, standing on top of a lamppost and holding a green chaos emerald in hand. I'm full of surprises. The group thought over Shadow. They all felt bad for him about Maria and his past but liked how he became a hero, or rather anti-hero later. The heroes were a little iffy about him being created using some evil alien DNA and his past attempt to destroy the Earth. Actually, Shadow's origin seems rather similar to what you told me about the Nomus, Nizu, David stated. All Might, Aizawa, and Endeavor, each who had close near-fatal encounters with the bioengineered horrors of the League of Villains, tensed at the memory of the monsters. Indeed, Nizu said. Supposedly created by some scientist, both bioengineered weapons of power, and perhaps, both granted help by some darker, hidden king. All Might frowned when the white animal principal said that. His mind thinking about All for One. Alright, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all, Wiz said. It's time for a death battle. Boomstick announced loudly. The video paused, and the device started scanning for the counterparts towards the fighters. Meanwhile, the group started voting for who would win. For Vegeta, his most notable voters were Bakugo, who liked the Saiyan Prince's explosive power and confidence, Kirishima, similar in reason to Bakugo over Vegeta's confidence and power, Endeavor, who felt more connected to the Saiyan Prince for both being fathers and admittingly arrogant dicks, Ojiro, Itsuka, Sen, and Maruko, who liked his martial arts training, Rin, Setsuna, Toru, and Kyuka. As for Shadow, those who voted for him included Izuku, who was fascinated over Shadow's versatility and powers, Ida, for his speed of light feet, Melissa, David, and All Might, for Shadow's bond with Maria, and Mike and Kaminari, because he looked cool, Koda, because he was a hedgehog, a scary one, but a hedgehog nonetheless, Fat Gum and Tetsu, for Shadow's invincibility during Super Shadow Mode, Mineta, and Mina. The device, finished with its scanning, said, "Scanning complete. Vegeta. Multiversal counterpart. Katsuki Bakugo. Nice Baku bro." Kirishima cheered. "Your counterpart is so awesome and powerful. It's so manly." Bakugo smirked, satisfied with his counterpart match. Yes, truly manly," Monoma said sarcastically. "Someone so short and died twice is surely someone to fear." It took Kirishima, Tetsu, Izuku, Ida, and Itsuka to keep the murderous explosive blonde away from the knocked-out Monoma. Shadow. Multiversal counterpart. Oboro Shirakumo aka Kurojiri. The video showed an image of a young teen with flowing blue cloud-like hair with a bandage on the ridge of his nose and floating on a blue cloud paired with another image. This one showcasing the Warp Gate villain of the League of Villains. "It's that Warp Gate bastard!" Bakugo yelled, rage in his eyes at remembering the League member. "Wait, so that dude was the Warp villain?" Kaminari questioned. "He looks like he's our age." Aizawa, present Mike, and Midnight's eyes all widened, mouths agape in pure shock and horror. "No," present Mike muttered, a haunted look on his face. No, that can't be. Impossible." Midnight whispered out in horror. "He couldn't have. He wouldn't." Nizu's paws cracked as they clenched tightly, a furious frown on display. "What is the meaning of this?" Aizawa was frozen. His eyes were wide with horror and disbelief. "No. Outrageous. Scandalous. Shameful," Oboro said dramatically. "Let me in on it." Aizawa found it hard to breathe. "You little scamp," Oboro said, holding up a cat cheerfully. He showed to the girls of their class. Aizawa gripped the armrest hard. "Wait, how about I lend you my goggles?" Oboro offered his goggles to Aizawa. "So you can protect your eyes and get close to him." Aizawa grips the goggles inside his scarf. "Even if one of us screws up, the other two can pick up the slack." Aizawa looked at the bloody body bag that Oboro was in. Tears started swelling up in his eyes. "As long as the three of us stick together," Oboro said with a determined smile. "There's not a problem in the world we can't resolve." The despair left Aizawa's eyes. Now they held pure anger. Nizu looked to Aizawa. His eyes said it all. "This will be looked into. But not now. The students don't need to know. Not until we know for certain." Aizawa nodded. Nizu looked to both Yamada and Kayama with the same look and message, with more emphasis towards Mike, who both reluctantly accepted. Nizu turned to the rest of the group and informed them to continue with the video. Meanwhile, Izuku looked at his teacher, noticing his reaction, his tears and pain in his eyes, and stared with a blank expression. The device continued saying, "Additional multiversal counterparts relating to combatants detected." "More counterparts?" Momo questioned. "Just like in the Kratos vs. Spawn battle. I wonder who these are." Biyume briefs. "Multiversal counterpart. Mei Hatsumi-ai. Wow, looks like you're married to Bakugo in Otherworld, Hatsumi-ai," Uraraka said, meanwhile secretly cheering at what she thought was a rival down. Izuku tensed, eyes subtly twitching in disgust at the mental image of Kaken with Mei. "Nah, he's not my type." May dismissed, a bored expression on her face. Too loud and arrogant for my taste. That's the pot calling the kettle black, the girls thought. Izuku released a breath of relief that he didn't know he was holding. He then immediately wondered why the notion bothered him so much. Hey! Bakugo roared offended. I'm any girl's type. You would love to suck my dick. All those extras from my old school practically worshipped me. Name one chick that isn't at all interested in me. All the girls in Class 1A Nijire Melissa, most of Class 1B, and May raised their hands in unison. Conveniently, Ibarra refused to move or make any acknowledgement of that question. Maria Robotnik, multiversal counterpart. Melissa Shield. I'm sorry that you had to see that, Melissa, Shui said. Watching your other self die in front of your eyes is hard. At least for us, we took comfort in that it was all simulations, but... Well, it's okay, you don't have to say it, Melissa said. Thank you, Azui. You can call me Tsu, Shui said. Alright, Tsu it is, Melissa said with a smile. No wonder Midoriya and her seem to get along well, Tsu mentally said. They are practically identical in terms of personality. I wonder. With the counterparts all said and done, the video began again. It started up with Shadow running / skating through green plains before he slid to a stop before Vegeta, the Scion's back facing the black hedgehog. There you are, Shadow announced as he slid to a stop. I knew I sensed an extraordinary power from around here. Well, that certainly sounds like me, Vegeta bragged arrogantly as he turned to face his opponent. Who and what are you? Appropriate response to suddenly finding yourself with a 3-foot-tall hedgehog, Shinso muttered. I am Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow introduced himself before striking a pose. The ultimate life form. I am starting to like this hedgehog style, Aoyama said as he too struck a pose. Ultimate life form, Vegeta said. A weird-looking rat is an ultimate life form. Haha, that's a laugh. Actually, when you look at it hard, this Vegeta sounds like the combination of both Bakugo and Monoma, Todoroki said. Monoma was quickly quieted by Itsuka while Kirishima, Kaminari, and Zero had to hold back Lord Explosion Murder and cover his mouth to block the river of slurs and swears. Word of advice, freak, you're a little on the short side to be threatening, Vegeta taunted. Funny, Shadow commented. I was going to say the same thing about you. Aizawa, Yamada, and Kayama flinched at hearing Shadow's quips, remembering the times when Shirakumo did the same to villains. You just sealed your fate, rat, Bakugo yelled out. You just sealed your fate, rat, Vegeta said. Well, I guess that proves that Bakugo and Vegeta are one and the same, Kaminari said. Shut up, the fight's starting, Mineta said. Fight. Shadow appeared in front of Vegeta in a blink of an eye, striking out his leg for a straight kick before Vegeta caught the foot with one hand. Shadow tried again with a flurry of kicks and punches, all of which Vegeta blocked or kicked and punched back. Wow, they are so fast, Mina said. I can barely keep track of them. Finally, Vegeta caught another kick from Shadow and kicked him a few yards away. The Scion Prince brought his hands together, glowing in purple energy. Gallic gun. Fire! The bright and large purple laser fired onto the still flying Shadow, causing a large explosion. When the smoke cleared, Shadow was on his feet but panting tiredly. That's it, Bakugo yelled. He looks almost defeated and Other Me just did one blast. Give Other Me a challenge. Careful there, Bakugo, Monoma taunted. Last time you said that, your guy died by his own explosion. Bakugo gritted his teeth but kept silent. Pathetic, Vegeta taunted as he floated in the air. Before you die, let me show you a true ultimate life form. Oh, I think we are about to see that Super Saiyan, Kirishima said, jumping in his seat. I'm so excited. Vegeta started yelling while flexing his muscles, a golden aura of power building up around him. Raga-a-agug. With a final yell, Vegeta's hair turned golden as he transformed into a Super Saiyan. So manly. Kirishima and Tetsu cheered out. Bakugo grinned, confident that he will win. Heh, tell me, Hedgehog, Vegeta said, chuckling. Does a lab rat like yourself experience fear? You have no idea. Shadow panted. Who you're dealing with? Shadow rose into the air, floating as the 7 Chaos Emeralds appeared and circled around him. Oh, Shadow is about to go super too, Pony said excitingly. What's this? Vegeta questioned, but stayed still, allowing for whatever is happening to continue. There is that flaw in Vegeta, Snipe said. He's allowing his enemy to reach a higher power level, even if it could lead to his own defeat. The gems circled around Shadow faster before disappearing in the hedgehog, and in a flash of golden light, Super Shadow was fully formed. Behold the true power I possess. Wow, Vegeta said in a monotone voice. What a ripoff. A second later, Super Shadow crashed into Vegeta. Yeah, quit stealing my shtick, Kuga yelled. Well, technically Shadow's from another world with possibly no scions, so I wouldn't say it's steal dash, Zero tried to reason before he was cut off. Shut up, you extra tape dispenser. As they sailed through the air, Shadow unleashed a flurry of kicks and punches that Vegeta was forced to block. They separated before clashing into each other at super fast speeds that the audience could barely see. Okay, now I can barely see a thing, Mina said. I can barely keep track of where they are and which is which. They are moving at super fast speeds, quite possibly as fast as light speed if we can barely see their forms. Ida analyzed. Suddenly, Shadow appeared in a flash before swiftly unleashing a roundhouse kick into a quickly appeared Vegeta who sailed backwards. Shadow super sped towards Vegeta, crashing at high speeds through the Super Saiyan, all the while leaving behind an orb of purple energy around Vegeta in a ring. Shadow materialized, back turned to the Saiyan, and snapped his fingers, the purple orbs of Chaos Force exploding and launching Vegeta into another exploding orb after another, until he crashed into the ground below. Holy crap! That's awesome! Tetsu yelled. Bakugo snarled, enraged at getting his ass handed to him by a hedgehog of all things. Shadow created a volley of chaos spears and launched them towards the downed Vegeta, creating a field of explosions and smoke, obscuring the Saiyan. Ha! Monoma taunted. Looks like that so-called Saiyan prince is getting his place served by a glowing rat. Oh, how you must be so dash. Vegeta emerged from the smoke and drove his knee into the hedgehog's stomach. Ooh! Suna cheered. He's fighting back. Vegeta quickly flashed away and appeared behind Shadow and kicked the rodent away, while firing a stream of blue balls of ki energy. After the smoke cleared, there was no sign of Shadow, but Vegeta could still sense his presence. Huh? Where'd he go? Vegeta questioned. Right behind you, Super Shadow announced, truly behind Vegeta. Vegeta whirled around quickly and prepared, firing a blast of ki energy before Shadow snapped his fingers again, a flash of light covering the screen. As the light faded, Vegeta realized that he was underwater, fish swimming around him. The hell? Vegeta questioned, confused. How did I get here? Did Shadow just teleported Vegeta into the ocean? Setsuna questioned. Well, they did say that Shadow could manipulate time and space, so that could be very much possible. Jiroda said. That was cheap. Kirishima stated. Teleport him back and fight like a real man. Huh. That was easier than I thought. Shadow bragged. I guess I'm better than shit. The hedgehog was cut off as Vegeta burst through the ocean with a roar, glowing in golden veil of energy. Cheap trick teleporting me underwater, coward. Vegeta taunted. Cut the act and give up already. You are nothing compared to me dash asterisk snap asterisk. In another snap and flash of light, Vegeta found himself on the moon. God damn it. Quit teleporting me all over the place and fight like a man, you fucking rat. No guesses who that was from. What he said, Kirishima said. Except the cursing part. Shadow looked to the moon and huffed. Playtime's over, runt. Vegeta yelled out before he punched the freaking moon, said lunar objects slowing falling onto Earth like a fiery meteor. Jaws drop once again. Did he just punch the moon? Uraraka yelled in disbelief. And he moved it. Maruko whistled. Call me impressed. Well, Ms. Impressed, Endeavor snarked. Did it occur to you that that anti-hero is willing to destroy the Earth to win a deathmatch with a hedgehog? Oh yeah, Maruko said. Well, it's a simulation, so no biggie. I think that point is that these simulations are based upon not only the power sets and skills of the fighters but also their actions and thoughts, UQ said. So it could stand to reason that the real Vegeta would do something similar along the lines to the simulation. And we wouldn't want that kind of reckless power in our world. No, Shadow yelled. Is he insane? Probably, Kominari said. Good old Kaken kind of swings between sane and insane. Chuckles were drawn from the students, while the only thing that Bakuga drew was an explosion to the discount Pikachu's face. Shadow's inhibitor rings snapped off. He removed his inhibitor rings, David pointed out. That must mean that whatever he's going to do must rely on his full power. Chaos! Shadow starting yelling as the moon drew closer. Control! The moon suddenly disappeared in a flash of light, only for it to flash back into where it was before, unmoved. Jaws dropped so hard, one of the students swore that they heard a crack. Did he just teleport the moon back into orbit? Mineta cried out. That power of the chaos force must be powerful. Momo muttered. They did say that it can bend reality itself. Izuku said. Yes. Shadow cheered for himself. I did it. Kudos to Shadow for saving the Earth. Mirio applauded the hedgehog. Wait for it. Tamaki muttered. Congrats, Furball. Vegeta said, suddenly appearing right next to Shadow. Wait, did he punch the moon knowing that Shadow was going to stop it? Nijire asked. Probably, Melissa said. Shadow was on Earth, so he would have also been destroyed. Vegeta used the moon as a distraction to get back unnoticed, but also stall for time. Stall for time, Fur said. For what? Shadow glowed in a golden aura. It's time to end this. He was then surrounded by ruby red light and starting yelling out, Chaos Blast *** FWOH**. Shadow reverted back into his normal state. For that, Melissa pointed out. Oh, Mirio said, preparing to cover the kid's eyes. Oh, Shadow said. Sayonara, Vegeta said. Final flash. Vegeta fired a massive ki blast that enveloped the depowered hedgehog, the only thing left afterwards being smoke. KO. Bakuga roared in victory, practically laughing like a maniac, the other voters for Vegeta cheering likewise. The Shadow voters grumbled but respectfully applauded. However, Aizawa, Mike, and Midnight were silent, not appreciating seeing their once thought to be dead friend's counterpart get vaporized before their eyes. Oh, somebody call PETA. We're down a hedgehog, Boomstick loudly proclaimed. I guess that does qualify as murdering an animal, Otto said. And I'm sure that a walking, talking, superpowered hedgehog is extremely rare, so they wouldn't be happy about this. With Super Shadow's godly power and invulnerability, the question wasn't if Vegeta could kill Shadow, it was if Vegeta could survive Super Shadow. Wiz began. True, Momo said. Super Shadow was said to be truly invulnerable, so Vegeta's attacks didn't actually hurt him, only inconvenienced him. But Shadow could clearly hurt Vegeta as he didn't have complete invulnerability. Izuku finished. This fight clearly predicated on time and durability. But Vegeta's proven time after time. He can take one hell of a beating and lasted long enough for Shadow to turn back to normal, giving Vegeta the opening he needed, Boomstick said. Additionally, the contrast between these two in their super forms was their time limit, Edith said. Shadow's super form was said to last only a few minutes, but Vegeta's Super Saiyan form was based on his own energy, and turning into Super Saiyan at the beginning of the fight meant that he had more than enough power to last long enough to outlast Shadow. His loud mouth has also helped him the past, too, Wiz added, baiting his enemies to build up their power for powerful attacks to tax their energy and go in for a killing blow. A strategy fit for not only a cunning warrior but also a former member of an army of soldiers under a powerful tyrant. Monoma flinched, remembering how his taunting has had very little, if any, success over his opponents. Looks like Shadow's time was up. The winner is Vegeta. Was finished. After reining in a gloating Bakugo from both Monoma and Deku, mostly from a more angry than usual glare from Aizawa, they continue the video for the next fighters. Next time on Death Battle, Boomstick announced. The first combatant shown was a familiar chubby man donned in a red and blue plumber suit with wide blue eyes, a large brown mustache, and a red cap with an M on it. They saw him jumping to far heights and somehow flying through a series of stars or miniature planets. "Hey, wait a minute," Jiro said. "That's that chubby plumber from the Goomba vs. Koopa fight." "Ugh, don't remind me of that crap," Bakugo said. That fight was a shitty snooze fest. The next fighter shown was the other hedgehog shown during Shadow's analysis. The hedgehog had blue fur, had large green eyes, wore a cocky grin on his face and red and white shoes on his feet. They also saw him moving at high speeds through fields, almost as fast if not faster than Shadow. And that's the other hedgehog that they showed in Shadow's part of the video. Nijire pointed out giddily. "I wonder what these two have in common. Are they both fast? Do they also have super forms? Is his name the one that they said was Shadow's rival, Sonic? Are they rivals?" Nijire. Izuku stopped the airhead from her mumbling. "It might sound hypocritical from me, but you're mumbling again." Nijire frozen before she blushed and stopped. Nad twiddled her fingers. Sorry, Izuki." Izuku blushed wildly. It's fine." He sat down and tried to remove the blush from his face at the name and the beautiful cuteness that Nijire displayed. The unofficial harem girl's eyes twitched in jealousy, while Melissa too looked to Izuku with a growing dark shadow over her eyes. "Zuki," Melissa thought darkly. Eri meanwhile looked between the blushing Izuku and Nijire. Papa looks like he also likes Auntie Niji. But isn't Momo Mama? Or was it Miss Melissa? Or Miss Oka or Miss Mina? Is Auntie Niji really Mama Niji? I'm so confused. I have to ask Papa later. The guys looked upon the green bean in semi-hatred, annoyance, and jealousy. Kirishima and Tetsu shed a single tear and placed their fists over their hearts, muttering, "A true man he is." Bakugo was once again pissed that the limelight fell onto Deku yet again, especially after his victory, really his counterpart's victory. Meanwhile, while the agreements to play the next video passed by and May hit the play button, Nizu hummed to himself. Shirakumo is supposed to be deceased. Yet this machine has said that he is Kurogiri of the League of Villains. Is the machine or this Zayden lying? Nizu looked to Aizawa and Izuku. Or could something else be afoot? Either way, I believe a talk with Detective Tsukachi is in order. What no one else knew other than Nizu was that the Dr. Gerald Robotnik, the scientist who created Shadow, just so happened to look like the same doctor that was counterpart to Shang Tsung, the same doctor that told Izuku that he didn't have a quirk. The same doctor who appeared to have a different name than what young Midoriya claimed it to be. Dark Kudai Garaki, was it?